Hello, in this video I will go through a recap on Scratch. Now there are three objectives we're going to be following. The first one is adding sprites and using broadcast to send messages. The second one is to use variables in Scratch and use mathematical operators with them as well. And the last one is to use iteration in Scratch to repeat code using loops. So in order to get two sprites to interact, we need to insert two different sprites. I'm starting off with using the bear sprite. The reason for that is because we can look at how to reduce the size of a sprite. Now, to reduce the size of a sprite, what you can do is click on size and reduce this one to 60, 40% reduction. I'm going to add another sprite, which will be, say, the beetle sprite. Now, you can add whichever one you want. I'm putting them on either side so that when the messages are displayed, we'll be able to see them clearly. Now it's important to click on the sprite that you want to work on. So I'm clicking on the bear sprite. Now what I want to do is I want to use events so that when the green flag is clicked or selected, it will start the program. Go on to looks, and that's where you will find the say block, and that is what we'll use to display text on the screen. So the bear will say, "Hello beetle, how are you?" And now we need the sprites to interact. In order to do that, we use the broadcast block, and the broadcast block will send a message out to all the sprites, and we can choose which one receives the message. Now this one says message 1 by default, and any more that we need, we will have to create them ourselves. So let's move on to the beetle sprite and select when I receive message 1. So the message 1 is received. What should it do? Let's get to say something for 2 seconds. So it can say, "Hi, I am running." Thank you. A very polite beetle. And then we want to send a message back. Now, I want it to say, to ask the bear, can you count up to 10? Now the reason I've done that is that so that we can get the bear to count numbers, which will allow us to use variables, repetition, and also the if condition. Now we need to broadcast this back out so that the bear can receive this. So broadcast the message. This will be message 2. So we can create a new message and call it message. Yes, you guessed it, message 2. There you go, message 2. Going back onto the bear sprite, the bear needs to receive this message. When the bear receives message, yes, message 2, he needs to do something. So the bear needs to count up to 10. We'll use repetition for this. First of all, we need a counter, which is variable here. So I made this previously, but I'm going to delete it so that I can show you how to make it again. Click on new variable, call it counter, and make sure it's available for all the sprites. Now, it's good practice to set the variables to 0. The reason for that, each time you play the program, the numbers will get added up each time, and to avoid any issues, we set the counter to 0. Go on to control, and we want a repetition in there, and repeat until it reaches a certain number. And go to the mathematical operator, and we want to say when it reaches above 9. And then when the counter reaches above 9, then we want the repetition to stop. We want the loop to stop. Okay, this is known as iteration. So put the variable in there. So when the counter reaches above 9, we want the repeat code to stop. So we want to display our result onto the screen. Okay, so we want the counter to be displayed onto the screen. There's 3 different ways of doing this, but I'll show you the method that works quite well. We want to change the number by 1 and then print. It does make a difference in the order in which we display the data as to when we change the data. So let's look at what happens here so far. We have hello, I am fine, thank you. Can you count up to 10? And the bear is counting up to 10. There we go. So here, what is happening in the code, when the green flag is clicked, say hello beetle, how are you? Send the message. And when the beetle will receive the message and say, hi, I am fine, thank you. And you count up to 10 and send a broadcast. When this broadcast is received by the bear, it will set the counter to 0, which is our variable, and now it will repeat whatever the code inside here until it reaches the number above 9. Now it will receive the number from the variable and add 1, and then it will display, it will go around, add another 1, and it will display. It will keep doing this until the counter reaches up to more than 10. Now what I want you to do is go to the video again as many times as you need to. Watch it, pause it, do what I've done until you've completed the video, and it's very important that you understand the code. Okay, now as an addition, we will do the following. So you can stop the video here if you want, or you can carry on. This is just a quick reminder. If you click on the beetle, we can get the beetle to move in different directions. So let's experiment with this. So firstly, we can use controls and events, and then we can choose which key does what. Now I'm going to say when the up arrow is clicked, then the beetle can move 10 steps. Let's try this. Okay, the beetle will move forward 10 steps. So it move right, it's going right, and you move right, it will go right 10 steps. Now we can do the same to move the beetle left. So when the left arrow is clicked, that says left, then we can move the beetle left. Very simple and effective code. We can do -10, which will move the beetle to the left. Okay, and right. You can replicate the same to move the beetle up and down. It's quite straightforward. So go ahead, move the beetle right, left, up, and down. If you want to change the direction of the sprite, you can use point in direction as well. Okay, so go ahead and try what's on the video. It's taken me 9.5 minutes. It should take you around 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer if you need to pause the video.